Today on What's Next.
I ended up being the oldest person to complete an obstacle, so I made history.
How we age is determined mostly by lifestyle. Up to 70% of how we age is determined by our lifestyle.
One thing that drew me to this patient population is their stories and their life experiences, and having the time to sit down and really hear and listen to them.
Hello and welcome into Growing Boulder's What's Next. And if you haven't noticed, What's Next doesn't have a question mark after it because it's not a question. It's an exclamation point because it's an exhortation. It's an encouragement to never stop learning, never stop growing, and never stop experiencing, because experience is the true currency of life. And acquiring experience requires action. It requires risk. It requires a willingness to try new things and to not be afraid to fail. Which brings us to today's show, in which we'll be sharing stories, stats, and research that proves that you have more power over the number of healthy, active, and fruitful years ahead than you might realize. We start today by embracing our inner warrior. A warrior is anyone who has faced a battle with great vigor and courage. A warrior can be anyone of any age facing any type of challenge, including simply the challenge of continuing to learn, to grow, and to evolve. And few represent that more than Ginny MacColl. She's the oldest person to ever complete a challenge on NBC's hit show American Ninja Warrior, and a warrior in the water that we met at the National Senior Games.
Ginny MacColl is a 72-year-old grandmother, a former Broadway dancer. MacColl is an actress who has appeared in hundreds of commercials and several movies, including Palms in 2019, starring Diane Keaton. Ginny developed osteopenia in her 60s, and her doctor prescribed weightlifting.
I had never been in a gym before. I had never done any sports.
It took her 1 full year to do a single pull-up. Now she can do 17 alongside her daughter, Jessie. It was Jessie who inspired Ginny to get into fitness. Jessie is a pole vaulter, gymnast, black belt martial artist, Hollywood stuntwoman, and American Ninja Warrior icon who has gone further in the competition than any woman ever.
It was not even a thought in my brain to do ninja ever, but I was inspired by my daughter, who looked so healthy and graceful and strong, and I wanted to get stronger. And so one thing led to another, and the next thing you know, I'm on the show.
And she didn't just compete. At the age of 71, like her daughter, she made Ninja Warrior history.
Well, I didn't know that I ended up being the oldest person to complete an obstacle, so I made history.
As Ginny gained strength, she gained confidence and ambition. She took up competitive swimming, entering the National Senior Games in Albuquerque in 2019, in Fort Lauderdale in 2022, and in Pittsburgh in 2023, where she swam 4 events, winning 4 medals in a sport she's learned to love.
I think it uses your whole body. It's incredible goals, and you keep wanting to beat your last goal that you had. So I think it makes you grow bolder.
She competes in Ninja Warrior and swimming to benefit herself, but it's not lost on her that she's also helping others.
I've gotten a lot of response from inspiring people that you can, as you age, still do all these things, and how important it is to keep moving and keep feeling great about moving forward and keep getting better and bolder.
And while she's inspiring others to get going, others inspire her to keep going.
What's so inspiring about this is how people in their 80s and 90s and even up to 100 are doing incredible things like a 200 backstroke or an IM, and they're diving off the blocks and doing flip turns, or not, but they're doing it. Up to 100 years old with great, it's just so inspiring to me to see that I have all these years. I want to be one of those at 90 that's still going across.
What's next for Ginny MacColl? Mother, grandmother, actress, swimmer, ninja warrior? Well, other than adding to her one-of-a-kind mother-daughter photo collection, one thing is certain. She will continue stretching herself in every way possible and reminding everyone that age is no excuse. Because in her 70s, she's learned that when you're not afraid to fail and you're willing to put in the hard work, new challenges become nothing more than new adventures.
Don't be scared to do new things and to keep moving, because you can make what may seem impossible very possible.
So much inspiration to take from Ginny MacColl's example. Of course, the obvious benefits that she gets from being physically active, not just adding years to her life, but maybe more importantly, life to her years, a benefit that's available to all of us. Because physical exercise has been proven to slow the loss of muscle mass and bone density, to increase energy levels, produce endorphins, which not only improve our mood, but also reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. It can help prevent falls and helps us live independently for as long as possible. But beyond that, Ginny's example underscores the benefits of social interaction in general and intergenerational connection in particular. She's inspired by her daughter and other younger athletes who compete in Ninja Warrior. And we can't let age become a barrier between generations. We can all learn from those who are younger and older. So, what kind of warrior are you? I believe that you must become a warrior as you age. You can become a gentle warrior, you can become a creative warrior, but you have to become a warrior. You have to subscribe to a lifestyle of never-ending improvement. We can embody a warrior's spirit with a paintbrush, with a pen, a golf club, or a book in our hand. We can become a warrior with a microscope or a microphone. It's simply about leaning in, trying new things, and never giving up. We've met countless examples of warriors in their later years who have pursued passions beyond athletics. Jean Bainus is a great example. She's a painter, a provocative, abstract expressionist in her 90s who's using her art to make bold statements about social injustice, civil rights, slavery, and war. Clyde Butcher is a renowned photographer, a modern-day Ansel Adams who's using his abilities with a camera to become an eco-warrior, trying to save the Everglades and educate policymakers about our environment. We've even interviewed a famous gaming grandmother who goes by Wow Grandma that's waging online battles. She's cultivated her own community online by playing the video game World of Warcraft, and she's found passion, purpose, and intergenerational socialization through her gaming. You can watch these stories and so many more right now on watch.growingbolder.com. But the point is that we all can seize the opportunity of aging in our own way. We can all make the rest of our life the best of our life, starting today.
I know that you can live a life where you can push off major illness and impairment until the end, closer to the end of your life. That is possible. That's called the compression of morbidity. Morbidity is when we're sick and impaired, and we want to compress that time.
Welcome back to Growing Boulder's What's Next. And for many of us, what's next is actually living to be 100. In fact, 50% of all children born today will live to be 100. And 1 of every 4 women who is 65 today will live to be 100. Of course, living to 100 is only desirable if we have a quality of life when we get there. And research proves that our genetics only account for about 30% of our longevity, while the daily lifestyle choices that we make account for the other 70%. This study by the MacArthur Foundation has inspired countless individuals to seize control of the way they age. Dr. Roger Landry is one of the world's most preeminent authorities on longevity. He's a preventative medicine physician and the best-selling author of Live Long, Die Short. Dr. Landry joined Growing Boulder's Launchpad to What's Next Live to talk about the power that we all have to increase our health span.
How we age is determined mostly by lifestyle. Up to 70% of how we age is determined by our lifestyle. What does that mean, lifestyle? That must mean I have to run marathons, I have to learn Chinese, I have to eat only bark, or at least spit out anything that tastes good, right? Wrong, wrong. Because I know that you, every one of you, particularly here, can live a life where you can push off major illness and impairment until the end, closer to the end of your life. That is possible. That's called the compression of morbidity. Morbidity is when we're sick and impaired, and we want to compress that time. We're actually squeezing the most out of life. That's what we're doing. Compression of morbidity, squeezing the most out of life. And it's building resilience in order to bounce back from life's inevitable curveballs, because they are indeed coming, aren't they? If resilience is going to have us bounce back, how do we develop that? Well, it's simple. It's lifestyle choices, and they're simple, ladies and gentlemen. And everyone in this room can do it. So what are they? Moving. Our ancestors were hunter-gatherers. They moved. We are creatures of movement. Everything works better when we move. Everything. Learning new things. The new characteristic that we have discovered about the brain, called neuroplasticity, this allows us to rewire our brain. And when we do that, we can resist what we used to think was the inevitable decline of our brain function. Third one is to be connected and not neglected. That's the problem. You want some tips on how to be at the belle of the ball in this world that is somewhat dog-eat-dog? Forgive. Okay? Have compassion. And give up the need to be right. That's not so hard, is it? So when people tell you you're looking good, what are you doing? Saying, I'm compressing my morbidity. Or you can say, I'm squeezing the most out of my life. But here's my message. Feel the squeeze, okay? Feel that squeeze. Let's hear it. Feel that squeeze. Feel that squeeze. My job here is done. Thank you very much.
That is powerful advice from Dr. Roger Landry. 3 lifestyle keys we can all focus on to help us lengthen our life and shorten the period of decline at the end. One of the poster girls for compressed morbidity is Olga Kotelko. Olga was an ordinary grandmother living in Vancouver who first became interested in track and field at the age of 77. When she turned 80, she won 6 gold medals and set 2 world records at the World Masters Track and Field Championships in England. And by the time she was 90, she had set 40 world records and inspired everyone she met with her quick wit and her sharp mind. And at age 95, she traveled to Budapest for the World Masters Indoor Athletics Championships, where she won another 10 gold medals and she set 9 more world records. She said goodbye to her many friends. She flew home to Canada, where she resumed training and finished writing her autobiography. And just a few weeks after returning home, she went to bed one night, she lost consciousness, and she died within 3 days, essentially compressing her morbidity to just 72 hours. Olga's mind was razor sharp to the very end, and doctors say she endured no suffering at all. A textbook example of compressing morbidity through high levels of physical activity and achieving extreme cognitive health. And that brings us now to our bold social video of the day, the power of exercise and social connection. Let's dance. Welcome back to What's Next. I'm Mark Middleton. Here's a pretty important did you know. Did you know that many primary care practices book over 30 patients every day for each doctor? And of course, you know that it can take weeks, if not months, to get a 15-minute appointment. And when you finally do get in to see your doc, stressed for time, he or she might send you all over town for tests to see specialists. And that is why Advent Health created Well 65 Plus. primary care practices specifically for those over 65, providing more time and more access to doctors, and a complete care team all under one roof. Yes, the patients love it, but so do the doctors. This new model of care is attracting top talent, skilled physicians who are eager to make a difference in the lives of older adults.
One thing that drew me to this patient population is their stories and their life experiences, and having the time to sit down and really hear and listen to them. And it gives them that satisfaction that they're actually talking to someone who liked to hear that whole life story of theirs. So it gives me that satisfaction, knowing that I'm going to come to work every morning, I'm actually making a difference, and treating them, having the time to spend with them, and taking care of them the way they're supposed to be taken care of.
I really enjoy working with older adults. The experience that they have, what they bring when I speak to them, and there is kind of like a pace that the encounter has with older people that makes it very rewarding. And actually, when they do surveys of doctors, in terms of satisfaction, actually geriatricians are a very satisfied group of people. You get to do a lot of good, which is nice.
The Well 65 program was purposely built so that you have more time to spend with patients, and I really do enjoy that, because I think in between taking care of medical illnesses, there's a lot of other things we need to address, as well as what's going on with life. How we structure our visits are either 30 minutes or an hour, and that allows us to really know more about our patients, learn more about our patients, and also allows us time to bond and know each other so that we can take care of each other better.
All this time, I'm always frustrated with not having enough time and being rushed, and I feel like I'm not getting everything that I want to do for them. Now I'm given more time, I'm able to do more things, I'm able to give more complete care that I wish I can get, or I hope I can get when I'm that age, So I'm excited about that.
Well, 65 plus physicians, nurses, health coaches, and social workers all enjoy working with and taking their time with older adults, something that really should be a given, but in reality, it's a rarity in traditional primary care practices. The result is better health outcomes for every patient. Whole person care tailored to each individual, their needs and their desires. To learn more and find a location near you, visit adventhealth.com. Welcome back to What's Next. I'm Mark Middleton. Time now for Your Take, where each week we ask our more than 1 million Facebook followers to weigh in on a thought-provoking question, and then we share the answers right here on the show. We were recently inspired by the example of two world-renowned Masters athletes, Joe Johnston and Kay Glenn. They're both world record-setting pole vaulters, but here's the coolest part. Kay is in her 70s, Joe is in his 80s, and both built their own indoor pole vaulting rooms so that they can do what they love at home all year long. Joe calls his the Joe Dome, while Kay calls hers the She Shed. It led us to ask our followers, if you could build an addition to your home to fuel your biggest passion, what would it be? Mo shared this photo from his garage where he houses a kiln for his ceramic studio. Beth would want to construct an indoor skating rink. How cool would that be? Myra, Mel, Leanne, and Anita would all like to fuel their passion for horses with stables and riding areas. Jeff, obviously a golfer, would like an indoor driving range. Many people said they'd like a greenhouse and gardening area. And the most popular answer we heard was for grand libraries and plenty of books to read. For me, you're looking at it. I've just done it. I'm coming to you today from a small studio inside my own home. With a flip of just a few switches now, I can be live on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. And check this out. With the flip of a switch, I can change the background behind me. I can still have the support of a great Growing Boulder team, but the media landscape has changed dramatically in the past few years. And my passion is now being able to share the incredible stories of ordinary people living extraordinary lives and to share them worldwide at any moment. And now I can do that right here from my own home. Speaking of which, Growing Bolder now has our own streaming channel. It's just like Netflix, but with one big difference. It is 100% free, because I think we all have subscription fatigue, so we're going to make Growing Bolder available for free 24/7. All of our content, all you have to do is just go to watch.growingbolder.com, and we will see you right here next time.